Hi, everybody. This is Paul Bryan of UX STRAT. Today I'm talking with Christoper Lafayette, who is an emergent technologist. Hi, Christopher. Welcome to the Stratosphere.
Hi, Paul. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So our topic today is designing the end of racism. But before we get into that, can you tell me a little bit about your current work and some of the steps that led up to it?
Sure. Although I can go, way back, I'll just kind of go recent. Just an emerging technologist and international national speaker on different subjects of immersive technology and eco-culture and ecobiotic diversity and things of that nature.
Okay.
Just recently here, we just launched a new initiative that we'll share a little bit more called the Black Technology Mentorship Program. It's a powerful initiative, and it's really being well embraced by many members of various technology communities, and some that aren't even in the technology community. We've had a really good turnout so far, and community reaction, and I'll be happy to share more of that with you.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to hear about it. So what are some of the early steps of the program?
Sure. So our focus right now is, and the idea with the platform is it's a mentor-mentee platform first. Then second comes education. And then the third is what we call the last mile. Because we want these programs that we find our student mentees in, we want them to matter and mean something. Because it has no benefit of getting any type of certification or type of graduation if you can't land a career. There makes no sense in building and developing out some type of prototype if you are an aspiring entrepreneur, if you're unable to go the distance from really lab to funding and lab to market.
Okay.
But it first starts off as a mentorship program. And the mentorship program is taking these geniuses and these technologists that are out here that have had such an opportunity to find themselves in as far as what they've come to know and understand, and to pair that with those who haven't had much of any opportunities at all when it comes to the career path and entrepreneurship path. And so I've had the pleasure of meeting and knowing so many different people in technology and in tech and here in Silicon Valley and domestically and internationally, and those that I don't know. There's more people that I don't know than the ones that I do, but they've answered a call as well. And so pairing them and giving them an opportunity to speak, giving them an opportunity to teach and educate and to advise. Those are some of the paths that we're looking forward to. And we actually have our first session, mentor session, next week on July 8th, and I'm really excited about that.
Cool. And if you could describe your perfect incoming candidate as a mentee, who would that mentee type be?
So it's kind of a STEM from the start approach, beginning of life, beginning to career. So we'll take those that are children, teens, young adults, and adults. And we don't want technology platforms to work with us as a feel-good initiative per se. Yes, that matters, but we also have to start looking at diversification and the inclusion of culture as a revenue driver and as a contributor to the development of tech. So as far as we've come along when it comes to technology, and now on the dawn horizon of emergent technologies, as far as we've come, Paul, we will never be as great as we can be in our constructs and our development if we do not have all able people to come and build this technology. If we're going to extend reality, then we must bring reality with it. The well-run engine right now, we have our access pool of our mentees, which goes into the thousands now. We haven't gone public with that, but now it goes into the thousands, and we just hit over 100 mentors that we have. And I'm very excited that we have that type of commitment from the community. And so the idea is that for us to have a relationship with corporations, to have a relationship with ventures and VCs, angel investors, for pitching awareness or pitching allowance, and then have a relationship with companies, not to give our talent a handout and then walk in freely and just get a job, but to acknowledge that we have people that look like me, that are professionals already, that exist, and they would simply like to even get an interview because that's a problem right now as well. So it's having a free-flowing environment of education, go-to available mentorship, short-term small batch sessions that we do introductory courses or sessions via virtual or Zoom, if you will. But we do these sessions to let people know what this technology is already. When we say UI, UX, I can say that to 2,000 people at a Zoom conference, and they have absolutely no idea what it is. But little do they know that they're interacting with it right there in that moment, and that they've been interacting for some of our young people their whole entire lives, but they don't know what to call it. Virtual and augmented and mixed reality, artificial intelligence and machine learning, deep learning, IoT and wearables, so forth and so on. They don't know what that is. So small batch introductory sessions to let them know what this technology is. And then more importantly, with some of our mentor commitments, I may only ask one of our mentors, a lot of them, to do 1 hour for the whole year. And all I want them to do, and all we're asking them to do, is to sit on a Zoom conference, as you and I yet said, and tell people simply what you do for a living. For them to hear that and to know that there's that actually exists, with the idea of presenting options for them to be able to pursue such talents, is a game change. So the first prioritization is establishing communication with our mentor mentees. The second one is to be able to enhance our development systems and educational offerings and advisory for those that are on the entrepreneur track. And then the third is to make sure that all of that is cohesive and that is growing responsibly.
Cool. Well described. How would someone who wants to participate either as a mentor, a mentee, or an investor, how would they get in touch with you, or how would they get involved?
Yeah. So they would go to ChristopherLafayette.com, and when they go to ChristopherLafayette.com, they'll be able to identify and see the program that's on there. And then based on the wording and the narrative descriptions, they'll be able to quickly determine whether they fit better to be a mentor, a mentee, or even an ally, or perhaps even a volunteer. And some of our companies that we already have, and we're getting commitments, which is fantastic, to have them come on as sponsors and to be part of our community members as well, which our community partnerships and our sponsors matter so much to us because they're helping fund these initiatives through their partnerships. And at the same time, they're willing to have a disposition of vulnerability as these hubs that we talk about of resourceful information that our mentees will need to be able to find, and our mentors will need to be able to find. I mean, isn't it awesome just to think about you being a mentor and you can have mentees actually help you with perhaps some of the initiatives that you're working on, because they really love the idea of what you're working on and what you're building, and they're so enthusiastic. They can come on and help you to build what you're building, even if just to sit there and look over your shoulder while you do it virtually. That's a lot for a lot of our mentors and our mentees and our students. And so I think our mentors are going to be able to benefit from that relationship that they're going to have with the mentees that they find themselves in contact with.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. I appreciate it. Any closing words before we sign off?
Yeah, Paul, I really appreciate your courage in having this discussion and this candid discussion about what's happening when it comes to the discussion of anti-racism in this country. We have two pandemics that are happening right now. This is the COVID-19, and then we have this anti-racism narrative that we've also found ourselves in. And so everyone has a role to play when it comes to how this is and what their contribution to the discussion is. And so I feel really good about being able to present this program and having the community embrace it thus far. And so thank you for platforms such as yourself. It matters, and I think it goes a long way.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Paul.